Hi, Brian Schwager here, founder of the Wellness Movement Center, here to present a challenge and a solution. Today's challenge comes as a question I often gets asked is, can you make it so I don't have to go to the chiropractor as often? Why don't my adjustments hold? Well, it's a loaded question, but let me teach you a little bit first. Number one, my background, I had worked as a corrective exercise specialist for a chiropractor, actually a chiropractic neurologist, for 7 years. In fact, I still see his patients and he refers patients to me on a regular basis. So I understand your question and your dilemma. But what we did different at his facility by having me there was I would design specific corrective exercise strategies for his patients. The other thing we did together is we looked at the challenge as a whole body problem. I teach my clients at the Wellness Movement Center, you don't have a muscle problem, you don't have a joint problem, you have a body problem. Remember, your body is a system of systems, and they all talk to one another. So there's many reasons why your chiropractic adjustments are not holding. Let me share a few of these reasons and then give you some simple solutions. Now, presenting solutions means we have to look at all four of these principles because they all affect your skeletal system and your muscular system. Remember, it's not a joint problem, not a bone problem, not a muscle problem. It's a body problem. So what we have is we have a communication network that runs up the spinal cord and talks to all these organs and all these different systems. So when these systems get overloaded, so think of like overload meaning let's think we plug too many things into a light socket and we blow a fuse. So in the body, when that happens, when we get overly stressed, now there's more than just emotional stresses on the body. There's thinking stress, there's physical stress. Maybe somebody's lifting too much for their fitness level. Maybe their job is real demanding physically. There's biochemical stress, which means that if you're not sleeping and restoring, that's creating stress on the organs because you're not getting recovery. You have to restore and get recovery. There's nutritional stress. Well, when your digestive system isn't working well, that's ramping you up. If you have an imbalance between your good bacteria and your bad bacteria, that's causing an increase of neurological stress. So when all these stressors are on the body, it then sends out messages, and like I've said before in some of my other posts, it creates a compensatory problem because the body is trying to find ways to neutralize and stabilize the system all the time. It's always trying to protect it. And if that means it has to pull muscles tight, then it will do so, but it may make it uncomfortable. So say, for example, if I get overly stressed because of thinking and it pulls my upper trapezius muscle in my shoulder neck complex, it'll pull that tight. There's a direct correlation between that stressor and that muscle. Now, that'll affect the whole chain. So you got to understand, this is what I teach my clients. So we come up with strategies, corrective strategies for each principle, and along the way, based on how it's designed for the individual, I will begin to teach them how this works. And we will begin to see changes in their structural integrity. But because these are always in motion, that's why the arrows are, it's an always evolving process. Yes, we're always going to have stress, but if you have better strategies in your life, these are things that I live and I do every day because I still experience stress, but I can handle it better because I'm eating right, sleeping right, and doing the things that strengthen my mind so that my mind doesn't get overly reactive. Sleeping. How are we sleeping? How are we digesting? What kind of foods are you putting in your body? Did you know that foods that are laden with chemicals create stress in the digestive system, which then inadvertently increases the muscular stress on the body? And actually what I have found with some of my shoulder, neck challenges is it was actually a digestive problem and an emotional situation they were going through. What you're eating, when you're eating, are you skipping meals, and what kind of fluids are you putting in your body? Yes, how you move is important, but really that's really last on the list, because if I find muscles that are short and tight, and I guarantee you I'm going to, it's why you're not holding your adjustments, I will provide you with the proper mobility and stability, but I have to get to the source of the problem so that this holds, and so that your whole body holds in position. So now let me move to showing you an example of the spinal column and how this relates directly to the spinal system. So let's give you an example of this overload depending on which principle is being overstressed, meaning, you know, the overloading of emotional stress, sleep, digestive, I'm pointing to this part of the body, the stomach area, and then the restrictions and movement limitations that you may have. But the basic bottom line is, you know, bones and muscles are dumb. They operate off of these nerves, and it starts up here in the processing center. So if somebody's got a lot of emotional stress and they're driving that nervous system up, they're ramping it up, it will create compensatory tightness in certain muscles. Say, for example, you ever get it where your neck gets really tight because you've been under stress? Maybe you've been working all day on the phone, dealing with some sort of stress, and the muscle up here gets real tight. Well, one of these two muscles, and trust me, they do talk to one another, they talk to the limbic emotional system of the body. So when we're driven up, that's why these muscles hike our shoulders. That's why we get these knots in our neck. Just as an example of how it's an integrated system of systems. Just like right down here in the midsection of the core, where you have your visceral sac, this is where all your organs are located. You have your liver, gallbladder, small, large intestine, in your digestive area. When your digestive system is over-innervated, maybe you're eating a food that's causing a reaction, food allergy, or you have a nervous stomach because you're dealing with a lot of emotional stress, those nerves get overloaded, and like a breaker system in your house, when you plug too many things into a light socket, it causes a short and trips the fuse. Well, here it trips out and inhibits certain core stabilizers. Well, now you have a naked spine, as they call it. There's no stability, there's no support, and that's when adjustments can go out of alignment as well. So you see the correlation between the four principles and maintaining your chiropractic adjustment. The moral of the story here is your solution lies in getting to the root cause of your challenge. Once we start to find corrective strategies for all four principles, the body begins to hold. So what is your solution? Well, number one, if you're going to a chiropractor or going to somebody repetitively, you may want to ask them what they think the cause of it is. If they're unable to do that and provide that for you, then give me a call or give a CHEK practitioner a call if you don't live in this geographical area. Because here at the Wellness Movement Center, I use the four principles to get at the root cause, and then along with the team that I have as an outside referral source, we then together can bring balance and help you to move well through life, as we say at the Wellness Movement Center. I'm Brian Schwager. I thank you for tuning in. Hope this helps. If you need more information or would like to get a wellness movement assessment, just give me a call, 828-667-9334. Learn more by going to my website, wellnessmovementcenter.com. Have a great day. Bye for now.